everybody out there. Tonight we're going to be talking to Kahy Jensen, and she's got some amazing tales about portals, demons, dimensions, everything that you're interested in. So join us tonight, me and my producer Dirty, on Cryptid Quest. All right, tonight we are with Kahy Jensen on Cryptid Quest, and she has some stories that she wants to tell us. So I'm going to hand it over to Kahy right now. And so what are the experiences you've been having? What do you want to tell the people?
Okay, so I started seeing monsters, and there's no other explanation other than monsters. I mean, when you see a monster, I'm sorry, there's no excuses.
Yeah.
All right, and I mean, I had a lot of incidences going on in my life, and I kept taking pictures of what I see, and it showed up. Okay, and that was like really thrilling because I had no idea that they could hurt me, but it was really cool that they showed up, on film, no matter what I did, no matter whose camera. Okay, and well, I mean, I've done a lot of studying on trying to figure out what the hell it is, So, like, my documentaries are like, I didn't even realize I was documenting at first. I was just, ecstatic and taking pictures of scary shit and scaring the hell out of people, like my therapist. They are the fourth and fifth dimension is what it is. Like the lower of the high frequency. A lot of people don't seem to understand frequency. It's not just like radio. It's not just, walkie-talkies. But that's why in a lot of pictures and videos they show up blurry, because it's like having two walkie-talkies too close to each other. They screech. That's like the negative frequency. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of lost you there for a second on the last one. You said the frequencies are high and low, and it's kind of like walkie-talkies going into each other.
Okay, like when they feed each other, that screech.
Yeah.
That's negative frequency.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why, like in a lot of pictures and videos, they blur. Okay.
Yeah.
I live on the second largest geodeposit, and the magnets in the ground line up here the same way they do in Roswell. And I believe that's a lot of why it's like it's almost like we're on ground zero, because I've been in other places, and it's not near as bad. But here it seems like it's just everywhere, like a flood of it, And a lot of people call me crazy, and I just, whatever, If I see something that you can't, that does not make you smarter or better or anything. It makes me, ranked up on the food chain. Mm-hmm. It's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, you're more in tune to what's going on around you, is how I kind of see it.
Right, and I'm not going to lie to myself. There's no way I could lie to myself and say, "Oh, well, that's not real. That's not there," when it's definitely there.
Well, I know you've shown me some pictures on Facebook that are very, very intriguing. Some of the videos are very intriguing, which at the end of the podcast or when we release it, we'll tag those on. But
okay.
So what are like some of the things that are happening to you?
Well, I know that. Okay. At first, you start hearing like a radio in the wall, a random wall in your house. Nowhere else, anywhere are you going to hear it but that wall. And sometimes it'll play. Well, for me, it was like old phonograph music, and then it would be like 80s rock, And I thought that was kind of weird, And I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm just losing my mind. Until other people started hearing it too. And, I was like, all right, well, then I'm not losing my mind. I didn't understand frequency myself at first. I didn't understand any of this at first. I just thought, I didn't lost my mind. But I'm like, well, I'm still talking just as sane as everybody else, so I'm not lost my mind. So on May 26, 2021, this thing came through my window. I went into the bedroom and I couldn't because there was this thing staring at me.
So
and
what kind of thing?
it looked like a black mass, like a horse head almost. But it flickered, and every time it flickered, its face changed.
So you say a horse head? Was it just a horse head, or was it a full body apparition?
Like I seen the head of it come through the glass of my window.
Okay.
And there were still plenty of it outside. Okay. And every time it flickered, its face changed, not always matching its skull. Well, instead of running and screaming, I decided to, as calmly as possible, record it to see if it would show up, and it did. And I was like, oh my God. And I even moved the camera away and then put it back to see if it was still there, and it was still there. 2 nights before that, I broke up with my boyfriend, or he broke up with me, whatever, because he thought that he could, I don't know, just do whatever the hell he wanted to, and I'm not digging it, and I cried for like ever and ever and ever. Like, I don't know, I didn't think I was ever going to stop crying. And 2 nights before, it was like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was trying to beat the heat. I hung up the clothes that I'd washed, and my ex-boyfriend, shows up, and something seemed off, but I really didn't care. We were like playing tag from tree to tree to tree. And I don't know, I was having fun. And when I went to bed, I was pretty calm that night. And, no crying or nothing, went to sleep. Well, I was talking to like my mom about, all of this. And she's like, well, listen, she's like, you say that a lot of people tell you that black thing that came through your window was a Wendigo. I'm like, uh-huh. And she's like, well, what if it just got tired of hearing you damn cry and it came to shut you up, play with you, make you be calm that night? And I'm like, okay.
And they think a Wendigo would do that for you?
I have no idea, because the thing is I've got pictures. I've got pictures and video of that night when the horse head thing came through my window and was flickering, and its face changed.
I'm not denying that. What I've heard about Wendigos,
but
they're not good.
I've also got a picture where it mimicked my ex, and he looks like he's made out of puppy dog skin. Okay. I mean, it kind of looks cute. Anyways, and I was told the only way that it could totally mimic him is if it ate him. So
I've actually heard
perhaps
that.
it was actually him.
Maybe not eat them. I've heard that a Wendigo can, if they kill a person, but I guess if you eat them, they're dead.
They devour you. So, I mean, they take on everything of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what became of that situation?
Well, I mean, several months down the line, I had enough of it, and I just couldn't deal with him anymore. He kept coming over and, playing with my heart and everything else. And after a year, I couldn't deal with it anymore. And I finally told him, you know what, I'm done with this. It'd be better off if you just leave, stay gone, whatever. I'm like, quit driving past my house, quit sending friends over to spy on me. I'm like, just be gone out of my life. And it pissed him off. So he beat the hell out of me with a croquet mallet.
Well,
I believe he was possessed. I took one of my friends.
Do you think it was the Wendigo that possessed him, or do you think it was another entity?
I think that one was another entity.
Yeah.
But I believe that some people are just like susceptible because of their low frequency.
Okay.
Okay. If all of your negativity, they feed off of it.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I hear you about the frequency. So you think when people are negative all the time, that they have a low frequency, and that gives demons or spirits or whatever a chance to get in them?
Turn you into a hand puppet, literally.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I used to see shit all my life, but it was like the crowd of like Dollar General on Sunday, and then on May 26, 2021, suddenly it was like, I don't know, Black Friday, Couch Patch Kids first came out. I mean, it was like monsters on top of monsters inside of monsters, and I started freaking the fuck out, because I thought it would just go away, I was like, it was just that incident. But no, it's like every single day now. But I couldn't deal with it at first because I was one of those kids that would pass out at school, like during class exchange because there's just too many people. I had no elbow room. Well, here all of a sudden there's like no elbow room again, but it's not people, it's monsters. And I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, I cannot breathe. I cannot handle this. And she's like, Kai, listen. She's like, you're saying that there's monsters on top of monsters inside of monsters. Here you're bitching about you not having elbow room. Think about them. And I'm like, oh yeah. Oh man, poor monsters. She's like, no, not like that. I'm like, too late now.
So, you had a feeling that maybe like the world was caving in around you, or like you just
like claustrophobia,
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I've
that's
seen
kinda
so many
like
of them
that.
all of a sudden for no reason. It felt like claustrophobia, but instead of it being like in a closet or a closed space, it's more like being in Walmart around Christmas time. That kind
Kind
of
of like
claustrophobia.
Black Friday.
Yeah. The day that I do not want to go anywhere near any stores.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I don't want to either. So, and you had some very interesting pictures and videos. One that really intrigued me, man, was you took a video out your back glass, and this is one I would like to post with your permission. And
Okay.
I could see, I can tell you what the video was. I can't tell you exactly where you sent it, but it to me looked like, honestly, I saw glowing eyes on the right from, looking straight on at it, glowing eyes on the right, glowing eyes on the left, and it looked like a freaking Bigfoot and a dog man standing next to each other looking at you through that glass. And I could see the outlines of their faces. And then, my sister, because you sent it on the Cryptid Quest page, and she looked at it and she identified two more pairs of eyes on the right side. Do you remember the one I'm talking
Okay.
about? I'm sorry.
I'm not real sure. But I know that they are layered. If they are layered, there's like monsters on top of monsters inside of monsters, and when they're not in full manifestation, you can see several.
Okay.
And
Maybe that was the thing.
So there probably really was, a dog man and Bigfoot and whatever layer, because that would be fourth dimension is when you can't. They're not one solid thing.
I got you.
Like,
So they can't, are you trying to say they can't completely manifest?
they can completely manifest, and a manifestation can manifest a manifestation. They just look gapped.
Okay. So they're trying to come in together?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So do you have a theory on as to why they're coming at you? Is there something going on that is like,
If you are on a low frequency, I mean, all of Somerset is on a low frequency. All of Pulaski County is on a low frequency right now because there's a lot of bad things going on, anywhere from the homeless epidemic, because it's affecting a lot of people, not just me. You know what I'm saying? Like my good friend Brian, he's been battling them for quite some time. Of course, he's so stubborn, he doesn't listen. He wouldn't understand when I'm trying to tell him, it's not the feds. It's not the feds. It's not the feds, but it is, absolutely. They're there to tear you down as far as they can to get you weak enough to possess you, to get you to do something violent towards someone else or something violent toward yourself. He recently burnt down his house. Because he thought that all of his friends had turned against him and that all of his friends were trying to steal his house and he went after me with a stick, and he went after another one my friends, or our friends, I should say, you know, and I was like, Brian, they're trying to get you to push everyone away so that they have you alone. Once they have you alone, they will enter you. I'm like, and who knows what you're going to do? I said, because you're unpredictable already with all of your low frequencies.
So,
And he would not grasp what I was saying to him.
with the low frequencies, what I'm picking up on is a weak soul or a weak heart. Is that kind of
No, a
no?
low frequency can be anywhere from a low self-esteem, self-loathing, lust, hate, anger, um,
A weak moment.
uh,
A weak moment
just
might
just
let
just a
let
weak part of you.
and it
Just a weak part of you.
gives them an open door to come in. And
Yes.
have
Yes.
you noticed like these things picking up? I mean, started out like everything is cool, and then like lately everything's amped up.
Well, they themselves amplify the negativity. Like, they catch on to you having a low self-esteem, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Say that you feel you are inadequate in the bedroom or whatever. Then they'll start doing things like overriding, like overlapping reality. Okay. So like the person that's got the low self-esteem, thinks that these clear military grade nanosuit neighbors of his are coming into his place and raping every chick that he brings home. Okay. And his logic was, okay, the only way to stop this is to
Do you think
so like he literally plays right into their hands because he does not realize that he is like forcing himself on the chicks that he's bringing home
so you
because
think
he's
it's
trying to
sin?
prevent the
So you
things
think
from
that it's
what?
people doing sin, doing something sinful is what is inviting them in?
Not necessarily sin. I mean, because sin is part of it, but it's just the low frequency. I mean, like literally your demonic music, that's like spells. There's like certain keys that are low frequency. Okay. Um Low frequency, the I can't or my life sucks, that right there is like an open invitation.
So
Like,
like kind
the
of like
people that are constantly
low self-esteem.
uh, low self-esteem, or lust, someone that is willing to, like toy with somebody's heart, like a narcissist.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is also a low frequency.
Okay.
And it's not that the person is demonic, it's that they are being possessed by something demonic because of their low frequency. That's like leaving a trail of cookies to you.
Yeah. All right. So do you think are these entities coming in just because of will, or do you think there's portals? Because I noticed you sent me some pictures
Okay.
that look like portals opening up. To me, that's what it looked like.
The more negative the area, not just the people, but the land itself, okay? Like, how many Indian burial grounds have been disturbed to make these loop-de-loops or whatever the hell, all these different roads and shit like that, okay? It's that kind of negativity. It's all negativity. It's dirt, dust, grime, slime, disease, infection, horde, anything negative. Okay? And that's how they find you. And the more negative the area is, the more random rips that will happen. Like the rips in the veil. Okay? Portals, when those came about, when I started seeing those, I was like, hell yeah.
Do you think they
Because
were
the
a good thing or
portals,
a bad thing?
well, I've gone through 2 portals that I'm aware of, that I personally chose, okay, I'm going through this.
All right, well, I want to hear
And
it.
the first portal, it took me to, okay, like years and years and years ago, me and my friend Junior Keith, we went out to a cave that you have to be in a boat to go into, okay,
Yep.
out there in Sloan's Valley. Well, I decided, I'm going to go back out there again. All right. And I went out there and there's no water at all. Okay. But when I went there, I went through a portal. It literally, you have to go through the portal in order to get to this place. Okay. This place now has no water, and it's actually a double cave. There's a cave on top of a cave, and I did not know that because it was all underwater.
Huh.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
And in that series of pictures, that's when I discovered that they move through. Okay, frequency is also pattern. Frequency is everything. Okay,
I agree with
but
you
the
there.
patterns in the sides of the walls of this cave, okay, they kind of look like dragons a little bit to me. You know, like head shaft dragons, and sometimes they turn. You got to think it's on a grid. A lot of people can't seem to grasp grid. It drives me insane that they can't grasp grid. But anyways, and in the cave on the top part, you see eyes and teeth. Literally, I'm glad that I wasn't up at that cave. I probably would not be here to tell you anything. But I managed to get pictures of it, and then, you know, do not run, walk the hell away from it. Because I seriously believe that if you run, they're going to look at you like sport. Like chase you like you're, I don't know,
Like a
a rabbit.
tiger when you run from a predator.
Yeah. So, and I've been in, I mean, sometimes it was just as simple as me laying on the couch being lazy and leaving the door open and taking pictures. You know,
Yeah.
I believe that the house that I was living in, I mean, there was so much negativity that was going on. And the fact that, you know, just on the other side of the guardrail behind my house was an Indian burial ground. So 9 times out of 10, that house was probably on an Indian burial ground.
You
You
think
know,
because this is where a lot of maybe this negative activity is coming from, or a combination of both?
okay, we're toxic. Okay. We're toxic to this planet. I'm not just talking about the oil spills or the sea turtles with the cocaine shoved up in their nose that it made me cringe to watch them yank it back out in that video. It's the extended parking lots for a church, or you know, let's mow down a bunch of trees in the rainforest. There's like 90 of them that are like extinct now. Okay, we genocide people like natives. I mean, we're just negative. We are negative people. I mean, we're not supposed to be, but we are. I mean, let's look at the truth, okay? We're negative toward each other. We rather believe a lie versus a truth because the lie is more entertaining. You know, we're out for blood sport, okay? And this is like, we've got it wrong from the very beginning of time. You know, it's not step on the smaller man to climb higher. You know, we're supposed to, the natives said to not take more than you need and give back. Well, look at your highways, your byways, your skyscrapers. How in the hell are we supposed to give that back?
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
nobody's
and
going to give that back after what they've done to get it. I got
okay,
you.
well, the monarch butterfly is on the endangered species list, and the honeybee has been genetically altered. You know, that's like our pollinators. I mean, we would literally cut down the last tree because it was an eyesore.
You're right. People are the most dangerous thing on this planet, I think, my personal opinion. So
Well, like back in like the 40s, the Bronx used to have their last exhibit on the zoo was a mirror, and it said the most dangerous animal in the world.
I believe it, 100%.
I
So,
mean,
do you think?
but we're toxic to ourselves also, because we're toxic to each other, we're toxic to the planet, we're toxic to ourselves. We've all got some kind of habit, some kind of something that, you know, is toxic to ourselves, whether it be overeating or drugs or porn or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. So, do you think? We're talking about the demons and the portals. Do you think that aliens in any way have anything to do with any of this? Any thoughts
I
on
think
that?
that I think that fourth and fifth dimension is also, I mean, okay, it is aliens. It is also every uh your folklore, Okay, not just ours, but like our natives, or even the new shit that's coming out, like Slenderman.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot
Okay,
about Slender Man a lot lately. A lot.
okay, like that's part of our folklore. Everything that we've ever talked about, our banshees, our Krampus. Okay, you know,
Dogman,
they all live
werewolf.
somewhere. Yes, Bigfoot, fairies, giant worms, whatever. It all lives in fourth and fifth dimension.
Okay. How do you,
Okay,
so I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
oh, go for it. Go for it.
I
Go
was
for
just
it.
gonna say, do you think that everything you're talking about, do you think they come in and out of portals, or how do you think they come from this world to that?
Okay, they come through the portals. They come through the rips, and CERN, gotta love them. They are making all the port is that they open that portal, and it's basically making fourth and fifth dimension overlap us. They're
You,
going to try to make all the dimensions one.
you
Is
think
what I think they're going
you
to try
think
to do.
that's why like sightings of cryptids have become so much more uh, relevant or
Yes,
happening so much more?
yes, and I think that CERN's been tinkering with things a lot longer than what they've been saying to us. But you know, look at what the government did. I mean, they lied to us for how many decades? That no, aliens ain't real, and they lock you away because if you see one, well, then obviously you're crazy. But now
Yeah.
they're saying, oh well, they're real, and we need a space army because you know, we're going to go up there and be aggressive. Okay, Trump, that's not the good idea. Why? Because we go up there and be aggressive. You don't even know what the hell you're messing with.
Yeah.
Because a lot of what I've got pictures of, and what other people that you know, associate with have pictures of, is it's like film on your teeth, and it's big enough to pick up a cow. So, and if you can't see it, how are you going to get aggressive? I mean, how are you going to? You don't know how to fight that. So if he went up there
Uh,
running that mouth,
they might know more than what we think they know. You never you that is something the little guy down here doesn't know. You know, I mean, they might know more. Because hey, the one thing that comes out to my mind is the show Skinwalker Ranch. Yeah, have you
see,
seen
I
it?
haven't watched much of that. I haven't watched much of that
There's
because
some
I don't know.
crazy
It's
stuff
got
that goes
such
on
a
there.
main. I don't know. Maybe it's their voices when they do the show, because I'm one of these people. It's really got to stop being mundane, boring. You know, get some excitement in there. You know.
Yeah, but some of the stuff they picked up a lot on like video of spacecraft and like dead zones and kind of like a lot of what you're talking about. And it just seems to be all around that place. I mean, do you think like where you're at is
It's
something
because,
similar?
well, like Skinwalker Ranch. You know, there's certain places on the planet that have the magnets line up in such a way where, you know, like Roswell, you know, and you do see a lot of weird spaceship like things here, you know, but I mean, I'm like I said, I'm not sure if it's, you know, when people say alien, you know, you think outer space, but it's not outer space. It's just another dimension. It's
Yeah,
all just another dimension.
yeah.
Okay.
So
It's like, and CERN, I mean, they're basically doing the same thing that, you know, I'm doing, you know, poking the bear, but they're doing it on a much larger scale.
yeah, so um, what is honestly? I have to know what is like craziest thing that you've seen that you can't explain.
Well, pretty much all of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, give me a couple or two or three.
Okay, like the ones that I've got pictures of that I think, I don't know, are the most thrilling is I got pictures and videos, is discovering that they are all luminous, and that, okay, say that they're standing next to a light, okay, and the light is, they're across the room and they're standing too close to a light, and they're trying to get over here to the other side of the room, but the light catches them. It'll pull them toward wherever that light ends.
So towards the shadows, is that what you're saying?
No, like they move through the light. And if light grabs them, it'll pull them to wherever that light ends. Okay, like the glare.
Like they can't control themselves. The light picks them up and puts them in a different place. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, if they get too close to the light, to a light, and they're not wanting to go that way, because literally it looks like they're like, wait a minute, no, I didn't want to go that way.
I got you.
And that kind of entertained the hell out of me once I seen that for the first time.
Do you have a video
because I was
of that?
like,
Or you just?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'd like to post that one if you don't mind.
I mean, I've got tons and tons and tons of books that I've done. Well, they're not really books; they're binders. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yep.
And like right now, I'm working on one. This binder 12, and it talks about attachments.
What was that?
Attachments.
What's that?
Attachments. Like a demonic attachment is like it's like a demon that weighs you down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it influences you and others around you.
Like I used to be a happy guy, then next week I'm just like totally down, and I bring everybody around me down. Is that kind of like that?
And yes, and it doesn't stop, and it doesn't stop, and it doesn't stop, and it just keeps increasing. But that's what I'm working on.
Takes me over.
Until either it can take you over, or it lets another demon go inside you.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want that to happen.
Right? Unfortunately,
no. I believe you. I think I believe in demons. I mean, I believe in God, so I have to believe in demons. I know they're out there to destroy us. They don't make our life good. And honestly, I think nowadays there's a lot of demons out there, more than there ever was before. Maybe the only
a lot of people don't understand is demons are not all bad. The road to hell was paved in good intentions.
Okay, that's new on me.
Some of them don't like. Okay, I'll send you a picture. Okay, I walked up to a puppy. It looked like a puppy, but it's actually lilac. And I put my hand up to it, and it leaned in on me. And my ex-mother-in-law was like,
a flower?
Flower.
Okay.
Flower. Yes.
No, I got you.
And my ex-mother-in-law looked at me, and her jaw dropped. She's like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "It's a puppy." And she's like, "Well, it doesn't look evil." I said, "'Cause it's not evil. It can't be evil. It doesn't know how to be evil." I'm like, "I'm sure it's supposed to be, but it ain't going to be, because it doesn't figure it out yet. It ain't figured it out."
Yeah.
Like some of them, I don't think they know. Like some of them are too young or something. Because like everybody's like, "Oh, Bigfoot." Don't be hunting Bigfoot, y'all. Because literally I've seen, I mean, I don't have pictures of it, unfortunately, but I've seen like out there in Ferguson, he's got like, if they were the equivalent of our sizes, okay, he would have a wife and 2 children. Children being like 7 years old. That's why they're aggressive. Leave them the hell alone. Let them live their life.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I agree. I would.
But because they're in 4th and 5th dimension, they'd be considered demons, but they're not. I mean, they consider it, but I don't think they are. They're just like me and you. How would we react if somebody was too close to our kids?
So have you ever heard of the theory that they might be Nephilim?
Why wouldn't? I mean,
I'm just asking.
I've heard that, but I'm not sure. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like my friend Will, he sends me a video, and he's like, "What the hell is this outside my window?" He's like, "I'm on the 2nd floor," and I'm like, "Will, I don't think we're supposed to name them. I think they already have names."
Yeah, I'm sure they do have names. They have their own little world that they live in, or big world, and we're in ours, and sometimes our paths cross. you know, because
Right.
I've had an
I
experience,
mean,
so I know they're out there, but I'm thinking there's a lot more out there that I haven't seen, and sounds
but
like
like,
you've seen a
okay,
lot more than I have.
okay, like, I took pictures of one day and night, and it was in the bush line, okay? And during the day, it looked like a wagon wheel or a pizza mouth. And at night, it looked like a fire mouth, and it scared the hell out of my daughter. She was scared of that one. She did not like that one. Anyways, well, a year later, I find its name and its backstory. It's a Navajo monster that has something to do with jealousy, which is perfect because at the time, I was still dealing with my stupid ex and all that drama, and of course, it's a Navajo monster. I live in Kentucky. That is New Mexico, is what Navajo is. So apparently they travel because, or there's more of them, like relatives, to come to, where they're needed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've heard a lot of stories about where people will have an encounter in one spot, and then they are somewhere hundreds of miles away, and the same creature ends up there, and it's like, how does that happen? You know, I mean, there's way
Well,
more much out
either
there we don't
either
know
they have
about.
either they have relatives or they come to where they're needed. Like, I cannot pronounce that one's name. I can send you the picture of it, where the name is at the top. It starts with a B with some little lines above it. But anyways, it has to do with jealousy. Well, with all the crap that was going on, her, back and forth, all this drama, it was just ways. It was over the top, too much, and obviously, whatever, the low frequency must have sent it to me,
Yeah.
where I could manage to take a picture of it. And I knew it was a monster, but I had no idea anything about it until a year later when I stumbled upon its name and backstory, you know. And I'm like, that's kind of cool, but kind of creepy. But if you find one, just one, that means they're all real.
Well, yeah,
And I
yeah,
found one,
yeah.
you
I
know.
agree with that. I think there's a lot of things out there that are real that a lot of people say don't exist, aren't there, nothing to worry about, but it's out there. It's a lot of stuff out there.
A lot of people can't see because they can't see black on black. They cannot see red on black, no matter the shade of red. They cannot see, like if you draw something with a black line, they can see it. If you draw it with a white line, they cannot. If you run a line of hot glue on the table, they'll stick their hand in it because they can't see transparent. And Their yellow to green is messed up. It has to do with that, depth perception. Um, and like you see your nose constantly, but your brain
You
created a
trying to
veil
say
so
I
that
have
you
a
could see
big
past
nose?
it. No, you always,
I'm
everybody
just
sees
kidding.
their nose.
It was a joke. Sorry.
Everybody sees their own nose, but their brain creates a veil so they don't see it, so they can see past it, so you're not running around cross-eyed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Um, so and like I was talking about earlier, I mean, so out of the cryptids that are out there in this world, are there any that you think have more of a legitimate chance of being real than any others? Or do you think they're
No,
all real?
I think they're all real. Um, People like not just ours, but it's also happening in other countries. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feller from Africa that talks to me and sends me pictures. Um, there's a guy in New Zealand that I talked to him, and he's like, he watched one of my videos and he's like, that really interests me because uh, I guess he had a similar experience with such a creature. It kind of looked like a troll.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've got several pictures of trolls.
Well,
I don't know,
let's
got one.
let's get them tagged on to the episode. That'll be good.
But like basically I was out in my yard and I was messing with my flower bed and I kept feeling something staring at me from the attic, so I took a picture, from the floor, from the ground where my flower bed is. And there was a troll right in the middle with looks like he's got a posse on either side. Okay,
A
and
what?
right in the middle, like a posse, like
Oh, posse,
like a crew.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Anyways, and he's right in the middle. He's got like humped forehead, beady eyes, a beady nose, and his jaw's been broken, and he's got like a snaggle tooth. And I mean, definitely looks like he's solid, and I don't want to mess with him.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to catch a picture of him, and I showed a couple of my friends, and they were like, "It's Dobie." I'm like, "Who the hell is Dobie?"
Dobby?
Yes.
Dobby. Yeah. Seriously? So how big? Okay. So I got to ask. You took a picture. Could you tell from the picture how big?
He would probably be about as tall as my knee, and I'm like 5'1",
That's
so.
Dobby. That sounds like Dobby. Yeah, that's from
And I'm like, well, he looks like
Harry
he's not a very happy guy.
That's from Harry Potter. Well, Dobby was always a happy guy, but this guy wasn't happy. He was in a bad mood. Did it scare you
Well,
at all?
I mean, you gotta see that.
Or did you not know until after the picture?
No, I was not afraid of these at all because I thought that they couldn't do anything to me at first.
Why?
Why
do you think they couldn't do anything to you?
Well, like I was under the delusion that during the day they couldn't touch you because it's daylight.
Okay.
And then I was also convinced myself that they can't do anything to me because they're in another dimension. Yeah. And then I just had to stop and think about that one. Me and my friend Will really sat down a few times because he's like, listen, he's like you're a bumbling idiot. You just go right on into everything. He's like, and you're going to get hurt, And he's like, if you can see it, he's like, then it's here. And I'm like, okay. And I like one night I was like, Eliza, I said, you see that one over there in the curtain? She's like, no. And I'm like, that's my daughter. And I'm like, I want to get up and I want to go grab it. She's like, Mom, please don't. And I'm like, why? She's like, because if you can grab it, then it can grab you.
She's right. And I don't think I'd want to be grabbed from anything from another dimension just because if it can grab you, it can take you back. And I don't know that I'd want to be stuck in a dimension full of these things. But maybe it's a better place.
I already am. A lot of us already are. It's like living in our world, our modern day, all this bullshit, and living in, I don't know, Brothers Grimm or the Labyrinth at the same time.
Yeah.
Or the Twilight Zone.
Oh, it seems like it's getting worse day by day. It really does, to me, at least. So.
It is. It really, truly is. And, I mean, a lot of people are, it's the end of the world. We got time. Not really.
No.
You don't. I mean.
So okay, so apparently you have a lot of, knowledge. You've been taking, notes, which is amazing. I give you kudos for that. What would be your best advice to anybody out there to try to be on the safe side of anything they might encounter?
Don't run. Try not to look at its eyes. I mean, acknowledge it. That way you know that it's real. But don't run and don't look at its eyes. And learn about the chakra system.
The what?
And fix the chakra system and fix it.
Chakra.
Martial arts or yoga.
Oh, okay.
Both. That's where you'll learn about it.
Was that for like peace of mind?
It's all of your different spots in your body that once you heal them, you can become one with self and one with God.
I got you. Well, I
try so hard not to talk about religion or God or any of that because it offends a lot of people. People get really angry
offended.
because but
God
a lot of people don't seem to want.
God is in my
heart. Literally. Okay, like when I was a kid, I remember being told that Jesus lives inside me. Okay, so in my head, I envisioned, him chilling in there with God, and I dream a genie,
Kind of
in like
like
a pillow conversation pit.
yeah, inside of a lamp or something.
Yeah, but inside
I
your heart
got you. I
instead,
got you.
you know,
Yeah.
and basically all your negativity basically pushes him out and lets these things come in.
That I believe. That I believe. I believe if you don't keep God in your heart, Jesus in your heart, or whoever, and I'm not going to be one that's going to say,
Well,
I
they
only
say
have.
his real name was Yah, or is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. Actually,
Because
the
like
last guy I
when
just
you,
interviewed told me the same thing, I think. So, but yeah. But I think as long as you keep them there, man, nothing can kick it out. It depends on the
you can
person.
kick it out. You can
Exactly. It
kick it out.
depends on the person. You keep it, you're good. And I mean, and so which confuses me a little bit because you think some of the demons are good, which I don't. I'm telling you right now, I'm not calling you out on anything, but I would be hard pressed to be friends with a demon. I don't care how nice they seem. Just saying.
Okay. So let me fast forward into another one of my books. All right.
Okay.
Your chakra system. Your third eye is part of your chakra system, which is your pineal gland. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Um.
Which they tried to today get rid of with everything they put in our bodies. But go ahead.
Right, exactly. The anywhere from the lines in the sky, and even Wi-Fi itself is damaging to your third eye. Okay. Um, we're all alien. This planet's alien. We're alien, and the Book of Enoch is where you're going to get a lot of your. Because I mean, this whole journey has
I
had me
think there's
so
a
much
lot of
reading.
I think there's a lot of truth in the book of Enoch that people just
Yes,
don't want to look at.
Enochi or whatever, however you pronounce it. They put caps on our DNA, and the only way to uncap it is to fix your chakra system and become one with self and become one with God. That will uncap your DNA and make it so that you can evolve or descend into heaven. Descend into heaven, not descend. Also, when you go into the light, you are literally going through another reincarnation. This is a soul trap. This planet is a soul trap.
That I can believe. I believe I don't think this is our end. When we die here, this isn't our end.
Infancy never dies. It never dies. And the lizard people that everybody talks about,
Yeah, the
that's the
aliens.
100 people that rule our world.
I think I've heard theories on that too. I didn't know there was only 100 of them though. 100?
It's like there's like a handful. There's like 100 of them. That's like the Rockefellers, the Queen of England.
Okay. Yeah. Now I'm with you. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are supposed to be high up on the echelon but they're disguised, and you can't see who they really are.
They're shapeshifters.
Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's interesting. And the thing is, I've before I even started this podcast, I've heard a lot of this stuff, and honestly, that's the kind of stuff that made me want to do this podcast because you know what? There's a lot of people out there like you that have a lot of knowledge in their head, but nobody wants to listen to them.
Yeah, because literally, okay, so those 100 people, they run our governments, they run our churches, they run our education, our health and mental health, our politics. They run it all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to shut us up, the people that can see, here's a pill, or back in the day, give them a lobotomy.
Yeah. Just take a little piece of their brain out and they're done.
Yeah.
So.
Now it's give them a pill or lock them away so that it doesn't spread. It's not spreading insanity; it's spreading the truth, and they don't want that out.
No, that 100. I believe that. I really do. And to shape
They
the
also
world.
created such words like that P word, pedilia, seeing faces in the clouds.
Oh yeah.
They created that word.
Paraphilia. I think
Yeah,
it
something
is
like that.
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know the exact word, but I know it's close to that.
Well,
So,
that word was created to make people seem like, okay, it makes it easier to brush something off. Like, oh, that bag just definitely looked like a fucking dog to me. It's just that facing is in the clouds, pareidolia, whatever that word is.
well,
Okay,
kind of like when
but
everybody takes pictures of Bigfoot and it's just a tree. You're just seeing a face. Well, am I?
yes, exactly. Okay, and if you persist, if you continue with this, then they're going to give you medication because obviously you're losing your mind. And if you continue with this, then they're going to lock you away.
Yeah.
Because they need you to shut the fuck up because all the other people that can't see, they don't want them to see.
Yeah.
Because then their game's over. They lose. Why do they lose? Because then everybody knows the truth.
You're right. All right. Well, unfortunately, our hour is about up, but you've got a lot more to say.
I definitely
already
want to
know.
come back on.
Come back on.
I definitely want to come back
We'll
on.
get you. So, hey, I
All
want to thank Kayh for being on Cryptid Quest tonight, and let everybody else out there know we love you. We got a lot of stuff to say on this show, so listen to us. And everybody, keep it creepy.
All right. Infinity Right or Kahy Jensen on Facebook.
Cool.
Like that?
Good. Yep. Perfect.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Kayh.
All right. Bye.
You have a good night.